What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be talking about the Kennedy 24 and 25 millimeter two-post. So many of you may know the Kennedy atomizer best for the bottom airflow design. However, he just released a 24mm and 25mm variant with two posts instead of the traditional three, which is great because it frees up a little bit of space in the build deck. But not only that, you get more juice capacity and you have the ability to change out the center pin, which is really cool because on this one here, this is the 25mm with the squonker pin. I've got it on the Council of Vapor Wraith, and I think it's really great. I've been squonking on this thing all day long. Now, I do have to state my intent by saying that I did receive these products for free from the manufacturer for the purpose of doing this video review. However, they have no monetary value to me, which means my opinions on them will remain honest and unbiased. With that being said, I would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to Steve Kennedy. He's the one that sent these things along for review. So thanks, Steve. I really do appreciate it. You have no idea how much this means to me, man. Just got to show some love for you. But anyways, guys, let's go over some specs, dive down to the close-up view, and take a better look at these things. Alright guys, well I guess we can skip the unboxing portion of this video because they didn't come in a box. They just come like this with a little set of Allen keys. You'll have one to change out the screws and tighten them and loosen them. And you have the big one here which changes out your center pin, your 510 connector. Not only that, you get an extra pair of grub screws as well as an extra set of O-rings, which is nice. No thrills packaging. But you can see here I do have some optional accessories on these two. On this one here I have a Half Moon Mods drip tip as well as the splatter cap from my original 24. On here I have a Fat Dragon tip from Kennedy Vapor, which are available on their website. Of course, links in the description below. But yeah, anyways, you can see the bottoms here, 24mm and 25mm with the serial numbers. On the 25mm, I've got the squonk pin in, which is really cool because I can now use it on my Council of Vapor Wraith. And there you go, you can see the little Allen key there to adjust your post. And these are really neat because it just is almost like a modular design in saying that you can swap out the posts, which is really cool. If you take a look at their website, you can see that they have multiple post options coming soon, which I really can't wait for because I'm excited to see what they come out with. Not only that, the posts are swappable as I stated, smoother airflow, 24 and 25mm diameters, larger build deck, larger air chamber, larger juice well, no leaking in hybrids, and they fit most box mods. Of course, they're 510 threading as per usual, and the pins protrude, so they are completely hybrid safe, which is good. Let's just real quick take the cap off and take a look at the build deck. It's got the 4 air channels going right down the center here. The center pin is adjusted via the bottom on the 510 side of things, and these have these Allen key grub screws there. The post holes are really large. I'd have to say they're about 3mm in diameter. I have not measured them myself, but they are very much large and can fit almost any sort of build you want to throw at it. The traditional Kennedy airflow there, the Cyclops eye with a matched one on the other side, and dual O-rings to hold the cap on, which they are very much secure. Really no issues with the O-rings that come with these things. On top of everything, you have your very large juice well. These can hold probably close to 1 mil of e-liquid, I would say. Never had a problem with the juice well on these here. And not only that, they don't leak. Now, I showed you in my original Kennedy review back in the day how you can fill up this entire channel with juice, then put the cap on. When you tilt it to the side, the juice just runs up the wall and doesn't go out through your drip tip or your airflow section, which Steve actually designed it specifically to do that, which is great. But there you can see the inside there leaves a lot more room in the center for airflow as well as build space. If you want to get really creative with your builds, you can definitely do so in this atomizer here. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to show when it comes to a Kennedy. I mean, there's not much else to say. Real quick, I also just wanted to show you that, yes, this fits nice and flush with the Rouleau. I was a little bit skeptical myself because I thought the 24mm fit nice and flush. This one fits absolutely perfect. So there you go. Just taking off the top cap once again. I've got my set of Clapton coils on there that I've been using for my squonker. And the only problem that I've incurred with the squonk pin, let's just take that off there, is that I have to kind of shift my cotton a little bit out of the way of the airflow section just to be able to flow the juice past the posts. That's the only problem that I've encountered when it comes to the squonker version of this thing. Other than that, I'm having trouble finding a 25mm mod that squonks to put it on. So if you guys have any suggestions, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments below. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'll have to do a build video at some point on this thing here just to show it off a little bit more. But that's really all there is to showcase when it comes to the Kennedy 24 and 25mm. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about them some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of this video. Now let's go over some of my thoughts on these devices, some pros, some cons, and whether or not I believe they're worth purchasing. Now if there is anything specific I do have to say about either one of these, I will make mention of it by using its name, the 24mm or the 25mm. However, otherwise we're going to be talking about both in general. So let's start it off today with the pros, and my first pro is not only the USA manufacturing and machining, but also the warranty. Now you can really tell that Steve takes a lot of time and effort and care into making these devices for you guys. It's USA quality machining. It's no, punched out stamped metal or anything like that. The metal on these things are really solid. The parts that they use are very solid and good quality. I mean, he uses nothing but the highest quality brass, copper, and stainless steel. So there's no question about the quality of these devices whatsoever. But not only that, they're also warranted for life, which is awesome. If you ever happen to break a post or a screw or anything like that, you can always just email him and he'll be sure to send out a replacement part. Or if you have to send your device back, he'll be sure to either fix it or replace it, which is great. My next pro is that it expands the building options. Now, I did notice I've been a long-time fan of the Kennedy atomizer, and I had a lot of trouble centering my coils most of the time. I mean, you guys even picked up on that in a few of my build videos. So with the two-post design, it's super simple to center your coils on this thing, and I absolutely love that fact because I am kind of OCD about my coils being right over that airflow, and this just kind of helps you along the way. And my next pro is that both have great airflow. I've always been a huge fan of the Kennedy style airflow. I think that it's just enough. It's not too much, it's not too little. And honestly, for me, this is a big pro, but for you guys out there that might not like that much airflow, that might be a pro for you. So there you go. But that's just my kind of subjectivity kind of leaking in there a little bit. But which leads me to my next point, which is it doesn't leak, period. These things do not leak. It's very difficult. Even with the squonk box, you can squonk this thing over and over again and it never pours out the holes because it's designed specifically not to leak, which is great. I can leave these things horizontal, no problem, and I have never had an issue with it leaking whatsoever. So as always, Kennedy top notch when it comes to that aspect. And my final pro is that you have post options. Now, not only am I talking about the center post being replaced, he's kind of hinted on his website that there will be future additional posts available for these devices, but also you can choose a squonk pin if you have a squonk box. All you have to do is mention it in the order comments. But on top of all that, you can also get the posts in stainless steel rather than copper, which I can really appreciate because personally I would prefer stainless steel. I don't, I'm not too picky when it comes to what manufacturers send to me as far as reviews goes, but if I had it my way, I would get the stainless steel post options. So with all of that, that would be ideal for anyone out there that's looking to kind of customize their Kennedy setup. Now, let's go ahead and move on to some cons. Alright guys, so my first con has to do specifically with the 25mm. This thing is big, it's bulky, it's a behemoth, and it's not going to fit on every single box mod out there. So be wise when you're purchasing one of these devices. Just make sure your box mod is going to fit this one if you're in the market for either one of these devices. Just kind of measure if you can, and just basically from what I understand, it's going to fit on your Rouleau, it's going to fit on your Council of Vapor Wraith, and probably the Tempest as well, but I'm sure there's a lot of other devices out there where it's not going to look really nice and flush on it. However, I feel like this was designed specifically for the roundhouse, the 25mm roundhouse mod that Kennedy also came out with. So I guess there's that. I'm really not sure how I feel about that, but honestly, I guess that's a great way to market a product, having it go specifically with a certain mod that you also create. My second con is the lack of airflow control. Now, a lot of you guys are probably used to the Kennedy airflow by now if you already own a Kennedy. And for those of you that like it, are going to love this because it's the same old thing, Kennedy style airflow, exactly what you're used to. However, he's also coming out with something called the Trickster, which is going to have a airflow control little section on the bottom of the top cap, which I'm not sure if that's going to be an optional add-on when it comes to the 24 and the 25mm Addies that he's making right now. But that could be a thing in the near future, hopefully. We'll have to find out about that later. But as far as the 24s and 25s right now, absolutely no airflow control. Next up, the squonk makes it hard to place the cotton. Now, this is a very subjective con because for me personally, I've been working with this thing for the past couple of weeks, and I noticed that when I go to squonk this thing, sometimes the juice doesn't make it all the way up the wicks. If I do my normal wicking technique, I kind of have to push the wicks a little bit more towards the front and back, or however you want to say it, the further to the sides, I guess, of the device itself in order for that juice to kind of flow past the posts and get on my wicks. I just don't think that the surface area is enough just to do my normal wicking technique with this. I'm sure I'm going to be doing a build video with this thing in the very near future, so I guess I'll have to talk about that in a future video. But anyways, my next con is that there are only limited colors. Really, this thing comes in stainless, brass, and copper. I'm pretty sure you can get the white and black top caps for it, but I really don't think there's anything beyond that at this point. I would really like to see them come out with some more Cerakoting options, maybe, you know, the splatter caps like they used to do it or something like that. Just really want to see some more colors because honestly, the name of the game right now is personalization when it comes to your devices. I really like to switch it up a little bit. You know, as you can see with my 24mm, I have my old splatter cap on top with a half moon drip tip as well. So that just kind of lets me be a little bit more creative with my devices. And my final con is the price. Yes, it is cheaper than what the Kennedys used to be. They used to be about 120 bucks. Now they're down to 99, which is good. I think it's a fair price for what you're getting, but it's still a little bit high. Hopefully, you know, with all this stuff coming out, that's like in the $50, $60 range, it stays competitive. I mean, I really feel like $99 is still fair, but you got to mention the price. I'm sure a lot of you out there are thinking $99 is still too much for a Kennedy, but you know what? I felt like mentioning it in the con section just because it's on the higher side of low, I guess. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and talk about whether or not I believe these devices are worth purchasing. Now, in my opinion, yes. Even at the $99 price point, I still believe they're worth purchasing just because I absolutely love the Kennedys. I've been a Kennedy fanboy for a very long time, and I feel like if I had one atomizer to choose from for the rest of my life, I would definitely go with a Kennedy 24. I feel like that would be ideal for me. I could build on that thing for the rest of my life and be completely satisfied. The two post just makes it so much more flexible and easy to build on. The post holes are nice and big, the screws are nice and secure, and they don't snap my wire. So just everything about the Kennedys I feel like is just right for me. That's kind of like my, you know, mama bear atomizer, if you will. But yeah, I love the Kennedys. I really think they are worth it. I really encourage you guys to go out and pick one up for yourself because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So anyways, guys, that about does it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Of course, leave me comments in the box below of what you think of the Kennedys, whether or not you want to get one of these things for yourself or anything else you guys want to talk about. That I'd love to discuss it down there with you. Also, check the advocacy links in the description below. I've got them down there for you so you can fight for your right to vape. Of course, check me out on all my different social medias. I have Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow me on there. Like my page on Facebook. Check out my Snapchat. And if you want to give me a couple of bucks on Patreon, that would be awesome as well. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, vape on. Shut up, cricket!